is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Omar Kelly. How you doing, my friend? You doing all right?
Got the Rona.
There we go.
You hear me?
I got you.
Got the Rona.
You did?
Yup.
Well, you look good for a Rona affected dude, and you're vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
And boosted?
No.
Ooh, okay. All right. How you feel that you got the Rona?
Horrible. But
you feel horrible. Wow. What are you feeling right now? Give us the breakdown.
Right now I'm tired, fatigue, cold chills. It's like a bad flu.
Okay. So you're away from the wife and the baby now, right? They got your ass quarantined in a house.
They all got the Rona.
They all got the Oh, dude, how's the baby?
Okay. Better than us. Think she might have been the first one.
Okay. All right. Well, if she's better than you guys, that's what counts.
Better than us.
She has to be better than us, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything but her. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how we are with our daughter. Anything but her. Me, yes. Her, no. You know, that kind of stuff. So good. All right, man. So just get some rest. What are you taking any kind of medicine?
Just regular, Tylenol flu stuff.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
I honestly feel like I've had it before. I had it one time when I was in Chicago and tested negative for it. So, but this, I kind of know what it feels like now. I don't know anything about the loss of taste and loss of smell.
That's good. That's good. At least losing taste has got to be a bitch, dude. Wow, that is.
Well, you know what? I'm not as hungry. I'm not as hungry as I usually am. So
yeah, that might help fat people like me on that one. Yeah,
absolutely.
If I lose my taste, I won't be craving the Oreo Blizzard anymore. Yeah, I got you. I got you. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't need the Dandy Donut right now. I'm not craving it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, Sean and I are talking about going. We're going to cover the draft at the end of the month in Vegas.
Yes.
We'll be there for a few days. Sean's already talking about all the buffets. I mean, think about that. You lose your taste.
Yeah, nah, you're not gonna enjoy a Vegas buffet. You're just not.
No.
But yeah, the level of fatigue and tiredness is unreal. But yeah, it's
Omar, we're all headed for it. One way or another, we're all going to get the Rona. Unless you're Putin, that you're like in a box by yourself and everybody's got to stay like 50 yards away from you or something like that. I mean, it's just, it's unless you're that dude, everybody else has got to have a life. You got to do something. So, ever since this thing started, I've never stopped my show. I've never stopped doing live shows because I got to make a living, dude. I got no choice, but
yeah,
I almost feel like if I haven't had it already, eventually I'm going to get it. I mean, it's just it seems like, and I'm vaccinated and boosted. And by the way, I'm going to get double boosted also now in the next week. I'm probably going to go get my boost because I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month. So I might as well get boosted again. And it's been 4 months now since it, and apparently the efficacy of it starts to die out in 4 months. It's when it starts to weaken. So
if you could avoid it, avoid it. That's what I you know how you go into a Publix and the stores and you see people without masks and everybody's acting as if like life is back to normal. Well, it can be if you want to catch it, and
right,
it's still going around.
Yeah, no, it's still around.
Yeah, my fear is it'll impact the elderly. Like I haven't seen my parents in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but but hot sweats, cold sweats, muscle aches, muscle soreness, cold, act like your sinuses, like this whole area here is all weird.
Yep. Yeah, somebody's saying herd immunity. Yeah, you're right.
We're close to herd immunity.
But unfortunately, the sad part about herd immunity is we're going to end up killing people.
Yeah,
That's
population
the
control.
problem, that people will die,
Yeah.
and that's what. And you don't know who it is. It could be me, it could be you, it could be anybody. We
Yep.
just it's Russian roulette, dude. Because what the one thing science hasn't figured out is what DNA it affects more than others. What condition do some of us have? Then we all know that pre-existing conditions, like me having 5 stents in my heart, that doesn't help out. But there are other factors, because there are people that are healthy that are dying from it, and you're like, okay, so what did that person have that thing triggered it that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the unknown, and that's the scary part about this damn thing, man.
Yeah.
All right. It almost feels terrible to talk about Dolphins now.
Listen, do it, because I would love to get my mind off anything other than that.
Well, Lolo Jones is 39. She's still not married and hasn't gotten laid. Your thoughts?
I'm a big real world road rule. I mean, the challenge from MTV Challenge. I don't know if you're into that.
No, but go
And
ahead.
she was on the challenge, and she just acted like a complete butthole. The whole and was an unlikable person, and I could totally see and understand like why she's such a prude.
Well, she says she's saving it for her husband,
All
whoever
right,
that
cool.
may be. But she's 39, bro.
Yeah.
Like at 39, you don't get the pipes working. They
Listen,
rust out, bro. Like, you know,
it's not for everybody.
yeah, I got to tell you. See, there you go. See, that's a segue of all segues.
It's not for everybody.
All right.
I don't even know how Lolo Jones became like a reference point right now. Like
it's just a story I saw while I was preparing, and it caught my eye because she was joking with her mom. She sent her mom I guess she was hanging out with a former player or something who had a Super Bowl ring, and so she put the ring on, and in the social media she sent it to her mom and says, "Mom, it finally happened," and she was joking with her, on that, because she's really not getting married. She doesn't have a husband, and so she's still unmarried. She's still a virgin, and she's 39. And so I'm just amazed
I
that
think what
anybody would restrain all the way to 39 years old. That's all. I have a hard time not having sex within 39 hours, much less 39 years.
you got it like that. Okay, you go ahead with your bad self.
Sorry, I like sex. But anyway, I'm just saying it's just one of those things that it's just like, wow, 39 years, man. That's impressive. All right, so now let me get on Dolphins, since I broke the ice with something there. She hasn't broken her ice, but I did. There we go. All right, so do we have a deadline for an X deal by draft day?
I think I think the regular season start is the deadline. I mean,
Okay.
I think we're looking at a situation where we're going to be doing what we did last year, where X isn't going to be practice. He's going to be a hold in.
Is that going to happen on Tuesday or Monday? When's it? Monday, right?
I don't
When's it
think.
start? Monday, because that's voluntary.
Yeah, I don't think X participates in any of the voluntary. I don't think he has for the past couple of seasons. And
Okay, so I ask you this because, my friend,
who cares? Like, who cares? I didn't expect X to participate whether he got a new contract. He's with David. All
cancer.
these guys have specialized trainers who get them ready for and get them why would X want to do busy work with the Dolphins? Like go weightlift with the Dolphins with a group of guys when
No, I get all of that. Don't worry, you're going on other tangents that have nothing to do with it. I'm asking because this is what I'm thinking, and you tell me, because I'm obviously could easily be wrong. I'm thinking because a lot of people got paid already, Omar. He's watching a lot of people that weren't even on the team that got paid. And so he's going to want his money, and he's still not getting paid more than his teammate on the other side, right? So I kind of feel that you have a deadline to the draft to get this deal done, because once the draft passes, and that's your window of possibly moving him, it starts to get ugly again, which it hasn't been ugly since. Like last year, it got ugly. It got ugly with X, with messages and all that out in public and all that, and about wanting his money and taking shots at Jones, like you're paying somebody else more than me, and all. None of that has happened. X has been super cool. Cantor normally doesn't do that anyways in public anyways. So I'm just wondering, is the possibility that that kind of stuff could start rearing its ugly head after the draft because others have gotten paid and he hasn't? That's the only reason why I ask, my friend.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that X is trying to figure out a way to get paid, and that's always been his focus, as it should be his focus. This is business time.
I know.
He's a businessman.
I get it.
X is focused on all his other business ventures and entities and things of that nature, and he wants his deal and he wants his money. And the question is, will they come up and make the deal and money and the situation? It benefits the team. People don't understand that, but it benefits the team from a cap space situation to extend X, especially if you give him a good substantial signing bonus. But with that said, I think X is going to handle it like a professional. You know what the situation is. And for the last 2 years, they have been resistant to trade him for a first-round pick. I don't think they're going to trade him for a first-round pick, especially in this watered-down weak draft.
All right, so what's your gut tell you? Deal gets done by the draft, or this drags on into the offseason and deal gets done and all parties stay quiet?
I think the Dolphins aren't going to come correct until they're pressured to. And that's just the history of who they are and how they operate. And I think we're probably looking at maybe, I wish this wouldn't be the case, but, sit out the first couple of weeks of training camp till they figure it out, and then they eventually figure it out. I'm not worried about it. No matter what, I'm worried about it.
Well, you don't have to worry about it, but Chris Greer has to worry about it because that would be a problem.
He doesn't seem too worried about it. He says he's had multiple sit downs. He says he's confident. I don't know if you've got the lines from his latest press conference, but he's like, we're still working on it. We're still working on it. And I've always said, X is not a difficult man to understand. Give him guaranteed. Give him the guaranteed money that you gave Teron Armstead, and give him the signing bonus that you gave Tyreek Hill. I promise you, deal gets done. Promise it to you. And it's not hard. It's not hard to do. And right. you give him. You don't have to give him 25. Give him 20 million signing bonus. That allows you to distance, to space out the cap space and trim his cap number from 12 to basically 6 for this year. Just you got to take care of your own. And if you expect him to be a leader, and that's one thing that he really needs to step up and be. If you expect him to be a leader, reward him.
That's not really. He's a play leader. He's a guy that leads by example of playing. He doesn't seem to me like a rah-rah.
No, he doesn't have to be a rah-rah.
Go talk to a guy in a locker room and pump him up. Go lift another guy.
No, but you gotta buy in. You gotta buy in, and there's only one way to make X buy in.
What? No, I listen. As much as I've had my issues with all of this, he's never been an anti-establishment guy. When he's on the field, he plays the game. He's not a guy that slacks off. He's not a guy that.
I'm not talking about that. He's going to show up and do his job. Yeah.
Right. He does his job. I give him credit there. He's not the guy that's going to take your money and then be a dick about it. You know what I mean? He'll play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and I give him credit for that. But if you're Chris Greer and you're talking about a holdout, Omar, that's something.
It's not a holdout. It's a hold in.
Or hold in, whatever. That's something that Greer has to be concerned about because he has to know how far he's willing to go, and that's
he's got him under contract. So
I know, but if the guy's holding in or whatever, it still creates a problem for Chris Greer. So,
Right.
and the part that you and I don't know is how far is Greer really willing to go, and what is his ultimate motivation? Is it that he just wants X around for another year and then get rid of him, or does he want to get rid of him now, or does he really want him for the next 3 or 4 years?
What's interesting?
I don't know.
Over the years, I've really gained an understanding of Chris Greer. When he is his draft pick and X is his second draft pick he ever made, Chris Greer has a real attachment to it. And he probably wants to ensure that X finishes his career here. There is a real attachment to it. Just like there was an attachment to Laramie Tunsil. And he said Tunsil was crying, I was crying. Chris really does get attached to his draft picks. And arguably, Xavien Howard is his best draft pick ever. So you kind of want to make sure he ends his career here, I think.
Yeah.
And X doesn't care. X just wants his money. So, but even when the Kansas City conversation was going down with Tyreek and we didn't know what it entailed, I was just like, yo, is that something you're interested in? And it was just like, nah. I was like, all right, cool. Because wouldn't you want to go play for a contender too?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
He wants to be here. He wants to be here. He wants to lay roots. And I'm pretty sure they know where he sits and he knows where they sit. It's about guaranteed money for Xavien. That's what it's about. As it should be for all players.
For all players, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody should try to get what they're worth.
Yeah, everybody.
What about that? There's nothing there. We should not hold anybody, criticize them for something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, this time of the year is the business time. It's when teams do the business moves, and players should also be doing the business moves. And Xavien doesn't have any guaranteed contract left in his contract. When you don't have any guaranteed contract left, guaranteed money left in your contract, it's time for a new contract. That's how the business works.
I'm with you there. But by the way, if he chooses to stay, Omar, he's staying with a contender anyways, because the Dolphins are going to be a contender this year, bro.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm glad you decide to go down that rabbit hole.
That's right, baby. I'll be in Arizona with Sean, Super Bowl week.
Are they better than Buffalo right now?
Wins the MVP.
Are they better than Buffalo right now?
I don't know yet. We'll find out during the season.
Okay.
We'll find out. I don't know. I can't really look. In all seriousness,
are they better than Kansas City right now?
Now, let's wait till they start playing the game.
Are they better than the Cincinnati Bengals right now?
Now,
with an improved offensive line,
if the offensive line and the running game's working, then I can tell you they can compete against anybody because the defense will automatically become even better. Instead of being middling, you could get to 10, 8. 12 in the league, and so now you're better on defense.
Are they better than the Tennessee Titans?
Weren't they like total 18? I think right. Total defense, they were like 18.
No, they're 15th. They're 15th and 16th.
Okay, whatever. So they can move down to like 8, 10, 12 with a better offense. So that's the part. With all seriousness, first let me see if they can run the ball and protect the quarterback. If you can run the ball and protect the quarterback, I think sky's the limit for the team.
Yeah. Here's one thing that I would love to have this conversation with you because you know how I respect you. I know you know football. If we said going back to last offseason that linebacker was an issue, and then they traded for the guy from Houston and who didn't make the team, and basically Landon Roberts played ahead of him, and that's fine. And Landon had a career year. Because I'm not disrespecting the Landon. That's not what I'm trying to do.
And it wasn't like Bernardic McKinney went out and lit it up anywhere. You know what I mean?
So I'm not disrespecting the Landon. I know what a Landon is. I know where his strengths and what his limitations. I know the value that he brings to this team. But are you telling me right now, with Jerome Baker, whether he's an outside linebacker or inside linebacker,
outside,
Andrew Van Ginkel,
outside,
Landon Roberts,
middle,
Duke Riley,
special teamer,
So who's your other inside linebacker?
You'll see him. He'll come soon. They'll sign him. They'll sign a veteran. They'll draft somebody.
Okay, so as long as
They're going to have somebody else. I think Duke might be competing for it, but I think eventually you've got to get better than that.
So
middle linebacker.
and that's what my issue is.
I know.
For Chris Greer to have said that basically we're good enough at linebacker and mentioned Brennan Scarlett and Duke Riley and
Omar, buddy, you've been in the league long enough. The GM's not going to come out and tell you, hey, our linebackers are mediocre in the middle. I know Atlanta Roberts kind of limited. He can only play 2 downs. And Duke Riley's kind of a special teamer that's trying to transition like Larry Izzo into playing linebacker. We really need a middle linebacker. We know that. You guys know that. But, hey, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to tell you
that. No. Chris Greer is a straight shooter, man. He told
he's not going to tell you that. Yes, we're hurting at middle linebacker. We need a guy.
No. There's a ton of my COVID's acting.
Hang in there, baby.
There's a ton of linebackers available right now that are out there. You're not even signed. You're good. You're good. You say you're good.
No. I'm telling you, that's why. There must be a couple guys he likes, and he's waiting for the price to drive down because there's no market for them. You just answered your own question. So they'll bring in 1 or 2 guys to help compete at that middle linebacker spot, and I guarantee you that 3rd round pick. I made some notes, and I want you to go look around. Brian Asamoah from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Chad Mumma from Wyoming. Go look at Quay Walker, Channing Tiddale. These are the kind of guys that are going to be available at that spot in the 3rd round.
Let's hope.
So the idea is start trying to find the guys that are going to be there in that 3rd round. It looks like that front office knows that a bunch of linebackers are also going to be available, and they have 2 4th rounders. So they might be able to season one of those, that 3rd round pick with a 4th rounder to move up a little more to get that linebacker that they want. I'm telling you, linebackers coming in the 3rd round, and
I hope so.
You've been at this a long time. There's a ton of linebackers drafted in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds that have played in this league.
Not even then, you get undrafted guys.
They end up all pros, Pro Bowlers, and even Hall of Famers. So you'll see it. 3rd round linebacker, middle linebacker, and then in free agency they're going to sign another. Mark my words.
I hope so, because I walked away from that conversation puzzled about 2 things: center and linebacker, and I know he says he's going to address center, and they're going to address it. And I don't care how they address it. That's fine. I just want competition for Dieter, but also you got to have competition. You got to have bodies at linebacker, and that unit is already paper thin in my mind. They're 1 short of a starter. And you take away a guy from an injury, and it makes it even worse.
I'll tell you what I told a lot of listeners after 3 days of free agency, and they're complaining, we're the big names. I'm like, yo, dude, we're 3 days, 4 days of free agency. Relax. It just started. And then, boom, stuff happened. And I'll tell you now, relax.
It wasn't boom. It was wait. And then,
all right. Well, whatever. There was a lot of booming.
And then we went a 2nd round.
Yeah. So there are ways.
And then she brought in a girl. She brought in her best friend.
Right.
She's like, I got a surprise for you.
Right. Yeah, it's like the Rapper's Delight song, right? If she doesn't want to go, you take her girlfriend, right? That's kind of what it is. But anyway, they loaded up. And what I would tell you and everybody else, we're not done with free agency yet. You answered your own question. There's a lot of linebackers left.
Man.
I'm telling you, there are a lot of linebackers in this draft that they can go for in that 3rd round.
Like, you telling me you don't add Quan Alexander to this team and they don't get better? Like,
sorry, say that again?
I said, you telling me you don't add Quan Alexander to this team and they don't get better? Like, what are we waiting for? What are we doing?
I don't know. I mean,
price go down? That's it.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're asking a little too much. I mean, Bobby Wagner got
Bobby Wagner.
At 31, dude. Holy crap. And a lot. Not only that, not only 31, but a ton of miles, Omar.
Listen,
Okay.
good linebackers. I mean, he hasn't shown you any decline. I thought he would be 8 to 9. He got 10. I'm like, props to him. And props to these guys. Like, I'm curious to see what happens to Jarvis Landry and all these receivers that are out there, that are still shopping and looking for teams. There's a lot of talent that's still available. Honey Badger.
And the prices aren't going to go up; they're going to go down because the money.
Some guys just know what their price is, and some guys like I don't think Honey Badger's accepting anything less than $7 million a year, and
yeah,
and so
he may have to wait for a big injury in a desperate team that he may end up getting 8 or 9.
There are a lot of guys, and people don't notice where veterans. These guys, these teams, they've got understandings with these veterans, and sometimes they don't want to sign them until after the OTA period because they're like, I'm not gonna participate in all that crap.
Yeah,
like I remember, and I hate to talk his business, but Brent Grimes, the end of the career in Tampa. You know, Brent only showed up for the basically showed up for the day one of the voluntary sessions where the media was attending, and then went back home to Miami when he was in Tampa. Like, it's like, you know, okay, I'm here. All right, I'm out. Because Brent knew how to get his body ready. Brent didn't need to be babysit.
No, of course not. No, he's a pro's pro. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and Tyrann Matthews and Bobby Wagner, like Jarvis Landry. If I wasn't sick right now, I'd be out at the field watching them work. I had planned to go watch some guys train before August. I actually was going to go see Perform train with Tua and his guys, but I got sick and I didn't want to make anybody.
Yeah. We already kicked you off the Tua bandwagon. The last thing we need you to do is give Tua, some COVID.
The Rona, yeah.
Don't be sabotaging our. Don't see now. You got too close to Flo. Now you might be sabotaging him like he was. I mean, no. We're not going to have any of that. No.
You actually got people thinking I'm going to Pittsburgh.
I'm going to call Nick. Okay, that's Perform. And I'm going to tell him to make sure Omar is nowhere close to Tua with that COVID. All right.
Yes, I already let him know. He told me to come out Friday. I had to stand him up because I'm obviously sick. Got the Rona, baby.
Yes, exactly. Stay away from our quarterback. All right. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out? Yeah. Don't be coughing on my quarterback. All right. So what are you working on the Sun Sentinel there?
Nothing right now. I'm trying to just stay alive.
Think about it. If you had to write the paper, the editor wouldn't even want to touch that paper at this point.
I'm talking to you. I'm like in cold sweats right now.
By the way, you're an absolute stud for talking to us. We really appreciate that, man.
Always. I got you. Like, yeah. Rona ain't gonna stop me.
By the way, Justin Vaccaro sent in a super chat before I let you go. He says, Big O and Omar, if there's a player they love to do, they think they trade one of our next year's pick to move back into this year's first round. So is there a player you think they love to move into the first round this year?
Based on, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Based on what I'm hearing from people who actually do the draft guys, they're like, yeah, this ain't a real good draft. It's
next year. Yeah.
It's watered down. The meat of the draft is in rounds 4 to 6. I'm like, if the meat of your draft is in rounds 4 to 6, that's not a good thing. And
it all depends too, right? Like it's a really deep wide receiver draft.
Yeah. I mean, there will be guys.
There will be guys but if you want some of the better wide receivers, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to get them in the first round. But this is a deep linebacker draft. Also, that's why I mentioned to you that I think the Dolphins are kind of scheming this way, where I think they want to get you. The thing is that we also have to remind people. Maybe you may not agree or disagree with me on this one. You can't buy them all. So if you can go draft some.
Yeah,
and if you get if you feel like, okay, if McKenzie, Allen, and Greer are sitting there going, man, there's a couple linebackers we really like in the middle of that draft.
Get 3 of them.
Let's go draft exactly. maybe one in the third, one in the fourth. Let's go draft a couple middle linebackers, man.
If
Both
they,
these
if
kids,
they
one of them will
draft two
start.
linebackers, a punter, and a center, and I'm great. I'm good.
Right.
Give me a defensive tackle, give me a pass rusher too. I'm gravy with whatever, man. Listen, and there if there are a lot of linebackers, this is the draft to trade it away. And that's what people don't get.
And I don't think they want to trade their picks for next year, by the way, for Justin. I don't think they want to trade any of their first round picks next year to move into this draft, because next year's draft is actually considered better than this draft. So I think Greer wants to keep those first round picks. That's just me. But, maybe you hear something different on that.
We should have just asked him. He's been very honest and candid. I'm very impressed how honest and candid he's been.
All right, so we got you on the Greer bandwagon soon. Soon we'll get you on the Tua bandwagon.
We'll not be on the Greer bandwagon.
The only thing is you'll get to wave to the bandwagon. You won't be on it, but we'll get you. Plus, we don't want you giving the Rona to all of us on the bandwagon. That's the other thing. I mean, not only will you pollute our quarterback, you're going to pollute also the fan base. It's not a good thing, Omar. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to keep everybody healthy.
Okay. That's it. That's what I love
keep
to hear.
Everybody healthy and happy.
All right, so let's get the entire Kelly family healthy. All right, so get healthy, get some rest, plenty of fluids, my brother. We will catch up next week, my friend.
All right. Cheers to you. All right.
Thank you. There you go, Omar Kelly. That's dedication, Rona and all. It doesn't stop, Omar Kelly. Hour number 3 is next.
This is the Big O Show.